Beneath the most contested square of stone on Earth, something has awakened. For centuries, the Temple Mount in Jerusalem was thought to be fully mapped, every chamber and corridor beneath its ancient foundations cataloged by scholars and sealed away by politics. But just weeks ago, a classified archaeological scan pierced deeper than any excavation in history, and what it revealed has shaken the scientific world to its core. It began with a pulse, an anomaly beneath the eastern retaining wall, detected not by archaeologists but by a team of geophysicists running seismic resonance tests meant for earthquake research. At first, the signal looked like background noise. Then its pattern repeated, geometric, deliberate, almost engineered. As instruments recalibrated, they traced the source to a hollow space, buried nearly 30 meters below the Mount Stone platform, a void no survey had ever documented, directly beneath the spot where many believe the Holy of Holies once stood. Hit that like button, subscribe, because what we're about to reveal will challenge everything you thought you knew about ancient Jerusalem. No one was prepared for what came next. When ground-penetrating muon imaging was deployed to map the anomaly, the scans returned an outline too precise to dismiss. A vast subterranean chamber, larger than the interior of the Dome of the Rock itself, carved with architectural symmetry unseen in Second Temple construction. Even more startling, its orientation matched neither Herodian nor Islamic engineering traditions. It was older, much older, and at its center, faint traces of a metallic lattice. Alloy signatures unknown to any cataloged artifact in the region glimmered from the darkness. What was this structure, and who built it? As the first remote probes were lowered through micro fissures in the bedrock, cameras revealed something even more perplexing. Embedded into the walls were inscriptions, not Hebrew, not Aramaic, not any known Canaanite tongue, but a glyphic script that mirrored markings previously found in Mesopotamian ziggurats thousands of years older than Jerusalem itself. The implications were staggering. This chamber might predate Solomon's temple, even predating Israelite civilization altogether. Amid the dust and debris, researchers identified an object embedded into the central plinth, a block of obsidian-like material, impossibly smooth, magnetically charged, and emitting a faint but consistent electromagnetic field. Initial analysis suggests it's not naturally occurring. More provocatively, its lattice structure resembles engineered composites, the kind found in 21st century laboratories, not Bronze Age quarries. How did it end up beneath a 3,000-year-old holy site? Each scan pulled them deeper into the unknown. Below the main chamber, a second anomaly emerged, a vertical shaft descending far beyond the reach of any ancient construction technique. Fiber optic cameras revealed a spiral pattern etched into its walls, a pattern that, once decoded, formed a star map pointing not to Jerusalem, but to a constellation venerated in early Babylonian creation myths. Some on the team began whispering what no one dared put in writing. Was the Temple Mount built over an even older sanctuary, one devoted to a forgotten cosmology? The deeper they probed, the stranger the evidence became. Radiation sensors spiked unexpectedly within the chamber's core, but not from any known isotope. The signature resembled cosmic background radiation, but concentrated and localized, as if something beneath the mount was harnessing energy, not from the Earth, but from beyond it. Even the air itself changed composition. Traces of noble gases not found anywhere in the region's geology. The site was no longer behaving like a ruin. It was behaving like a machine. The pulsing grew stronger with every meter descended. Fiber optic cameras flickered as if struggling against a force beyond their design, and then the first unmistakable shapes emerged. colossal stone pillars, hewn with precision so exact that even modern laser cutting would struggle to replicate them. Each pillar bore an iconography that merged symbols from Egypt, Mesopotamia, and unknown geometries, as though civilizations separated by thousands of miles had followed a single blueprint. Embedded in the walls, veins of a mineral that refracted light into iridescent blues and greens shimmered faintly, reacting to the camera's infrared beams. Scientists were forced to wear specialized suits just to approach. The minerals emitted a low-level static charge that interfered with electronic instruments. Attempts to measure them with standard spectrometry returned baffling results. Elements not listed on the periodic table, alloys that should not exist naturally, and isotopes that seemed to decay at impossible rates. Security around the dig intensified overnight. Satellite imagery revealed sudden activity on the mount, sealed access points, new surveillance arrays, and diplomatic envoys rushing into Jerusalem under the guise of religious consultation. Behind closed doors, leaked memos hinted that multiple governments, including those with no direct stake in the region, had requested access to the chamber's data. Theories multiplied. Had they uncovered the remains of an antediluvian civilization, a relic of pre-biblical worship, or something designed and still functioning long before humanity's recorded past? Beneath the pillars, a network of tunnels unfolded like a labyrinth beneath the city itself. Each passage contained niches holding small cylindrical objects made from a translucent crystal. Inside these cylinders, faint patterns swirled, almost like miniature galaxies suspended in liquid. When exposed to light, they emitted harmonic vibrations, audible only as low frequencies by instruments sensitive to subsonic waves. Early analysis suggested these cylinders could store information, or energy, or both, in ways that challenge every principle of physics currently known. One of the most shocking discoveries came when the team stumbled upon an antechamber filled with a strange, sticky residue covering the floor. Microscopic analysis revealed a complex organic lattice, a biomaterial resembling nothing on Earth, yet capable of conducting electricity and responding to touch. When a robotic probe brushed it, a spike in energy coursed through the chamber, and the electromagnetic pulse synchronized with the previously pulsing core, deeper below. The chamber seemed aware. The cameras captured it. A massive doorway carved directly into bedrock, sealed for millennia by an interlocking mechanism of stone and metal. The markings around it appeared to depict figures in motion, as if guiding or guarding something beyond. When a small laser was projected across the etchings, shadows revealed an outline of a structure beneath, an impossibly large domed interior lined with metal plates and intricate circuitry-like carvings. The scale suggested this was no temple or tomb. It was a machine. As they prepared to breach the doorway, seismic sensors recorded an unusual resonance, vibrations echoing from beneath the shaft, responding not to the team's activity, but to the pulsing from the core itself. Geologists confirmed it was a pattern impossible to attribute to natural earthquakes. The rock was humming in a calculated rhythm. Each pulse corresponded to a reading on the star map etched into the upper chamber, almost as if the structure communicated across millennia with the cosmos above. Inside the first unlocked chamber, faint frescoes began to emerge, preserved beneath layers of sediment. They depicted events that defied chronology, figures wielding advanced tools alongside animals long extinct in the region, skies filled with glowing objects moving against constellations in impossible alignment. Archaeologists were forced to consider that whoever built this space had knowledge of both the past and a distant cosmic future. In a smaller adjacent corridor, A series of alcoves contained statues carved from the same iridescent mineral found in the pillars. Each figure was humanoid, yet with exaggerated proportions, elongated skulls, and hands poised as if channeling energy. When examined with electromagnetic scanners, the statues acted as amplifiers, interacting with the pulsing core, creating a harmonic resonance that filled the chamber with an audible hum resembling a human heartbeat, but magnified 1,000 times. Yet perhaps the most unsettling discovery was the one that almost went unnoticed. Amid the carved walls of the chamber, etched faintly beneath layers of sediment, was a symbol historians could not explain, a perfect geometric sigil, identical to one found on an artifact recovered from Göbekli Tepe, over 800 kilometers away, built 6,000 years before Stonehenge. Two sites separated by millennia and continents, sharing a single, deliberate mark. The conclusion was unavoidable. Whatever is sleeping beneath the Temple Mount is part of a story far larger and far older than any holy book has ever told. In the deepest recess, a device-like object sat atop a pedestal, a cube, smooth and black, with edges that seemed to absorb light. Instruments picked up an energy field emanating from it, oscillating at frequencies that induce micro-changes in local gravitational readings. Every attempt to touch or move the cube triggered a surge in electromagnetic activity across the chamber. It wasn't just dormant, it was reactive. The team discovered an inscription hidden behind one of the statues, a warning encoded in a script that merged multiple ancient languages. Rough translation suggested that the chamber was not simply a vault or sanctuary. It was a containment, a mechanism designed to restrain something beyond human comprehension. And the pulsing core beneath the Temple Mount was what it was keeping in check. Scientists scrambled to model the energy readings. Early simulations suggested the force could extend for kilometers if released, distorting magnetic fields, disrupting electronics, even affecting human neural activity. Historical records now appeared in a terrifying new light. Legends of divine fire, unexplained tremors, and mysterious disappearances near the mount might not have been metaphorical. They might have been warnings. And yet, for all its ancient engineering, the chamber responded to the team as if it knew they were there. Lights from the probes reflected patterns in the iridescent walls, patterns that matched constellations, then shifted to mirror the positions of Jerusalem's streets above. It was as though the structure could map not only the cosmos, but the living world in real time. A minor tremor caused dust to fall from the ceiling, revealing a hidden panel embedded with tiny, perfectly round apertures. As cameras zoomed in, each hole glimmered with a faint inner light, pulsing in rhythm with the core. Instruments recorded a signal, a low-frequency transmission that appeared to be repeating in prime number sequences, embedded with complex fractal patterns. Whatever lay beneath the Temple Mount was not inert. It was communicating. And still, the deepest layers remain untouched. Because below that sigil, sensors now suggest something else, something pulsing, something alive. The prime number sequence continued, pulsing through the apertures like a heartbeat. As sensors interpreted it, the patterns shifted, forming a map, not of the Temple Mount, not even of Earth, but of distant celestial bodies. Researchers realized the sequence corresponded to the positions of planets, moons, and star systems, spanning light years. The chamber beneath Jerusalem was projecting the cosmos itself, encoded in a language no human had ever learned. When a drone was lowered closer to the pulsing cube, it recorded micro-signals that interfered with the city above. Streetlights flickered, compasses spun, and smartphones froze in perfect unison. Data analysis revealed something almost impossible. The energy emanating from the cube could influence electromagnetic systems far beyond the mount. It was as if the chamber was aware of its surroundings and capable of interacting with the world above. Deeper still, hidden in a niche beneath one of the statues, the team discovered a cluster of organic relics, preserved in a crystallized amber-like substance. They were humanoid but with elongated skulls, and the tissue contained traces of DNA that didn't match any known human lineage. Attempts to sequence it returned results so alien that the lab systems could barely process the data. Whoever or whatever had built this chamber was not merely human. They were something else entirely. When researchers tested the floor beneath the cube, they discovered a lattice of channels etched with microscopic precision. Simulations suggested the channels could channel energy like superconductors, converting electromagnetic pulses into mechanical vibrations. And in this chamber, every vibration, every pulse, seemed to synchronize with the cosmic map projected by the apertures. The structure itself was alive, functioning as a bridge between energy, matter, and information. The first inexplicable event occurred. The pulsing accelerated suddenly, and the chamber emitted a low-frequency hum, so deep it was felt in the bones. Dust swirled upward from the floor, and the cameras caught shadows that moved independently of any light source. For a moment, the chamber felt sentient, aware, anticipating, almost communicating directly with the team's presence. One of the statue's eyes, carved from a mineral unknown on Earth, glowed faintly, reflecting patterns from the cube. When analyzed, the glow contained encoded data, which, when processed, revealed coordinates, not just in Jerusalem, but across the globe. Sites long forgotten by history now aligned with the chamber's energy grid: Stonehenge, Göbekli Tepe, the pyramids of Giza. The Temple Mount was part of an international network, a nexus in a system designed thousands of years before any recorded civilization could have conceived it. The walls themselves began to reveal another layer. When scanned with ultraviolet light, hidden etchings emerged, a timeline stretching across millennia, showing cycles of construction, abandonment, and restoration. Some events predated humanity itself. Others projected into the future with astonishing specificity. It was a record, a warning, and a map simultaneously, a chronicle of forces that had shaped Earth for eons, far beyond any religious or historical narrative. In a small chamber off the main vault, a pool of crystalline liquid reflected the cube above. When instruments measured it, they discovered it contained isotopes of water not found anywhere on Earth, combined with organic compounds capable of sustaining life without sunlight or oxygen. The team theorized the pool was a biosphere, a self-contained environment preserved for millennia. What survived in it, microbes, cells, or something far stranger, could rewrite our understanding of life itself. The cube pulsed in a rhythm no one anticipated. The chamber's harmonic resonance amplified, shattering minor rock fragments above, sending shock waves through the substructure. Instruments recorded a spike in gravity localized to the cube, bending light subtly in the camera's lenses. Simulations suggested that if the energy were fully released, it could distort physical reality within a measurable radius. For the first time, it became terrifyingly clear that containment was critical, and the mechanisms meant to hold it were ancient and possibly failing. A concealed alcove was uncovered, containing a tablet carved from the same iridescent mineral as the statues. Its inscriptions were neither pictographs nor letters, but sequences of fractal geometry, spirals and nested polygons that mirrored the cube's pulse and the cosmic map. When algorithms attempted to decode it, the result was staggering. It described a process, a machine, and a sequence of events, instructions for activation, and a warning of consequences too vast to comprehend. The Temple Mount, it seemed, was not just a historical site. It was a gateway, a vessel for forces humanity had never encountered and perhaps was never meant to awaken. Sensors now registered faint electromagnetic signals emanating from beneath the mount itself, beyond even the deepest excavated chamber. They fluctuated with patterns that matched human brainwave frequencies, theta, delta, and alpha, suggesting some form of interaction with consciousness. Every scientist in the team reported inexplicable sensations, memories that weren't theirs, emotions that weren't theirs, visions of architecture and skies that defied earthly logic. The mount had begun to reach, and somewhere, deep in the undisturbed bedrock, a new pulse formed, slower, deliberate, and undeniably intelligent. The chamber was no longer dormant, no longer simply a relic of the past. It was awake, aware, and its awakening had only just begun.